Hello everyone, this is part 2 of What If Naruto Was Betrayed and Planned It All, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Naruto had only had the clones for around 30 hours, but already he was using them to the greatest ability. While he slept, he had them reading over the information they had gathered on the Uzumaki. While the information they found on Kakashi before they returned was extremely interesting, the memories he woke up to were even more so. Uzumaki was the home of the Uzumaki clan and the hidden village of the Land of Whirlpools, and was also known as the Hidden Eddy Village or the village hidden by whirling tides. While Uzumaki was a common name on the large island that made up the Land of Whirlpools, only the Uzumaki clan that made up most of the population had the gift of longevity as well as some of their other gifts. The clan were distant relatives of the Senju, and this had helped solidify the good ties with Konoha. Mito Uzumaki, who was a prime example of their long life, had been the wife of the Shodaime Hokage. It was right around the time that his mother was brought there that the Land of Whirlpools had been destroyed. There wasn't much more information there about it, but what interested Naruto the most was that sometime during the battle on the island a seal was activated that dispersed a massive wave that for all intents and purposes killed everyone still on the island and around it before a dome-like barrier appeared and blocked off the massive island. However, a few of the Uzumaki clan were able to survive and scattered across the lands. He would have to see what he could find in the library later in order to see if it would help him. Who knows? Maybe his ancestral home could one day become truly important once again. For now it was time to head out. It was 2.5 hours after their sensei said to meet him, but he was sure that the man would take even longer than him. Besides, he would see him at the memorial stone he was going to stop by on the way. It was in the man's file. When he walked up to the memorial stone, he instantly saw Kakashi. When he got close, the man noticed him and turned around. "What are you doing here, Naruto? Aren't you supposed to be at the training ground? Did you really think that after your stunt yesterday I would believe you were late because you got lost on the road of life? Not likely. It's why I also ate breakfast. I'd rather puke than be too hungry to do whatever we are doing. Though I doubt that you were serious about it. You surely are smarter than your file said. Alright, but why come here? I've never seen you here before." "Well, now that I'm a ninja, it's time I started paying respect to those who gave me the chance to get this far." "That is wise," Kakashi said as he noticed Naruto brushing over one name in particular. "Why are you brushing that name in particular, Naruto? He's the Yondaime. Without him getting rid of the Kyuubi, I wouldn't be here and this village would have fallen a long time ago." He spoke calmly. "Alright, head over to the training ground. He'll be over there soon." "Sure," he said, walking away. Just before he left, he spoke. "Oh, and if you take more than 30 minutes to get over there, I'm going to make you wish your habit was to be early." "Oh, and how are you going to back that up?" "Well, remember that time when all the Anbu couldn't stop scratching themselves?" "Yes," Kakashi responded, dreading where this was going. "Itching powder in all of their bathing items, cloths including their underwear, and their masks." It was tricky but not difficult. Kakashi was now afraid. All of his cloths he could handle. But his masks, that would be trouble. Without trying to sound scared, he tried to play it off. "Don't worry. He'll be there." Naruto smirked, knowing he had hit a nerve when he mentioned the masks. "I'll be waiting," he said before he walked off. When he walked out of the bush and onto the training ground, he heard a loud, "You're late." Sasuke and Sakura had gotten there 45 minutes ago. "Well, I'm here now. Sensei will be here within the next 30 minutes. He said. "How would you know that?" Sakura asked. "Call it intuition," Naruto said with a wicked grin. Before they could respond, he put plugs into his ears to cancel the noise and opened his book. Later on, just before Naruto hit 30 minutes, Kakashi walked out of the bushes. "You're late," Sakura yelled. Naruto sighed because he couldn't hurt Kakashi, and Sasuke had gotten over it. "Well, my new team, it's time for your test," he said as he pulled out 2 bells and a clock. "Your task is to take these bells from me before noon. It's already 9, so let's hurry up. You have 3 hours. Whoever doesn't get a bell gets tied to a post while the rest of us eat. And you also fail, leading you to be sent back to the academy." "But sensei, there are only 2 bells." Sakura said. Very astute. That is because at least one of you will fail. He said with another weird eye smile. All but Naruto were shocked. We're being played. Naruto thought to himself. Now the only job I have is to make the others see it. Get on with it, Naruto said. You sure sound cocky, Naruto. You're going to need to come at me with the intent to kill in order to beat me. You might be a jonin, but I killed Mizuki-teen without much trouble. Fine, begin. The moment the words left his mouth, Sasuke and Sakura disappeared. Well, at least they have that down. He thought before he noticed Naruto still standing there. You know you should be hiding, right? No, I'm supposed to get those bells. Hiding from an enemy when I have a limited time to retrieve an object is counterproductive. Now, if I need to come at you with the intent to kill, then perhaps I should do what I did to kill Mizuki. He said before preforming a hand seal causing several hundred copies to appear. Don't you think that's a bit much, Naruto? Kakashi asked. His only response was, hold him down. Instantly the clones rushed all at once. They were weaker clones, so I can actually do that. He's a jonin, so it might not have mattered. That and his Sharingan. If he needs to, he will use it. Time to get going. He thought before taking off through the trees. While he was trying to find his teammates, his sensei had his hands full. For each clone he kicked away or punched in the face, another appeared. I can't use my kunai because I can't even tell which one is the real one. Crap, he thought before lifting his Hitai 8 to reveal his Sharingan. What? Sasuke shouted in his mind. How does he have that? He's not an Uchiha. Who did he take that from? Back to the fight, Kakashi was freaking out. They all had the same amount of chakra. The Hokage told him that Naruto learned a new jutsu from the scroll, but something like this was purely unheard of. Not to mention the sheer number of them had to be impossible. However, Kakashi didn't have time to think as he focused on dispelling the clones. He quickly kicked one in the face before picking one up by the arm and using it to knock away 5 others. While Kakashi had his hands full, Naruto was about to get Sasuke to help him. Hey there, Sasuke, Naruto said, looking over the Uchiha's shoulder. Said Uchiha nearly had a heart attack. Naruto, he said, clutching where his heart was. What the hell are you doing here? Aren't you out there? 300 clones and you thought I would be among them? No, I'm here to tell you the true purpose of this test. What do you mean the true purpose? We were already promoted. That's why we have these Hitai 8. This is a test. I believe they are testing our ability to work together. So what, if we fail, we aren't going back to the academy? No, that part is true. We just need to complete the actual test. Not this bell crap. But to do that we need to get Haruno and make our whole team. Understand? What if you are lying to make sure you get a bell? If I was, do you think I would need you? I could make more clones. Even if I did need you, would you rather work with me or Haruno? You stand everything to gain from working with me. Look at him. I might take him down before time runs out, but do you honestly think you can say the same? Look at him. That is Kakashi Hatake of the Sharingan. The man who copied 1000 jutsu. I'll tell you what I know later, but for now I need you to help me. Can you do that? Sasuke nodded. He didn't have much choice. Naruto made too good a point. Good. Now let's find Haruno. More than half the clones are gone, so we don't have much time. Naruto said as they took off to look for the pink-haired girl. By the time they found her, the clones were down to 70. However, with Sasuke there, it wasn't hard to convince her to join. Now all that was left was to plan how to take down Hatake. Naruto took care of that. Once they were done with that, they quickly surrounded Kakashi as he finished the last clone. Well, they only have 20 minutes left. Not long. But just that one put me to work. I almost can't breathe, he thought as he was breathing heavily. However, he didn't have much time to rest before he heard someone yell, Kaiten, fire ball jutsu. It was not hard for Kakashi to decide he should move. As he went to move to his right away from the nearby river, shuriken came flying at him from the woods, forcing him to move closer to the river. But while he was still in the air, 25 Naruto clones came out of the water and jumped him. He quickly escaped by using the Kawarimi to replace himself with a clone. He didn't expect them all to instantly stop fighting and stand up. Well, you lose, sensei. One of the clones said before they all dispelled. Before Kakashi could respond, her heard clapping and turned around to see Naruto with the bells at his right hip. When he looked down, his own were gone. Well, Naruto, you win. There are still a few seconds for you to make sure one of the others get a bell. You and I both know that was never the purpose of this test. Come on out, Naruto yelled before Sasuke and Sakura came out of the trees with a smirk and a confident smile respectively. Alright team, fine, you pass. You were able to see that the true purpose of the test was teamwork. This is important because anyone who breaks the rules are trash. But I'm here to tell you that those who abandon their teammates are worse than trash. Now, meet me here tomorrow and we shall begin training and taking missions. It didn't take long for his team to leave him there. Well, that Naruto really is different from the report I got. He is smart, strong, and quick to act. He used those clones as a distraction before gathering his team and convincing them to work with each other. Once he did that, he had Sasuke and Sakura push me to the river where his clones jumped me. While I was distracted, and before I could replace myself, he came from behind the tree and took the bells. The moment I got out, the clones stopped because I had already lost. This will be interesting. Break. It was now 3 days after the bell test and Naruto was tired from a day of D-rank missions. He hated to admit it, but Shikamaru was right. They were troublesome. However, he was now on his way to Ichiraku's to eat with and talk to his friends. When he got there, they were already waiting on him and had ordered for him. Naruto, you finally made it. How are things going with your team? Anko asked. Fine. However, I almost killed that cat, was his response. Yeah, you and everyone else in this village, Hinata said, holding her head as if just talking about that cat brought on a migraine. Instantly the others followed suit. Well, when we're done here, there's something you need to know, Naruto said. He was trying to suppress his laughter. Ichiraku ramen, Naruto-sized meal, equals 450 ryo. The amount Sasuke pays Naruto to help him hide from fangirls equals 5,500 ryo per week. Their faces when he tells them about his parents. Priceless. What is it, Naruto? Shino asked. I'll tell you when we're done. All 4 of us are going for a walk. Whatever, once we get done he pays for all of our diners and then tells us, and it fine. Anko said, smirking. Let's slow down, Anko, I can barely afford my own food. Naruto said, trying to sound pathetic, even though he knew he had the almost bottomless account of the Yondaime Hokage. Why do I get the feeling I'm going to want to kill you later? Anko asked, pulling out her wallet. Trust me, you would miss me too much. He has a point, Shino said. Break. Naruto was now standing in front of his friends with his arms stretched to the side theatrically in his library, watching his friends gawk at what they were seeing and what they had just learned. So, how long have you known that you were the inheritor of one of the greatest legacies of the shinobi world? Anko forced herself to speak. 4 days ago. And how about that, your faces are priceless. Naruto responded as he started chuckling. Naruto, do you realize that with this and your cage bunch and you could learn all of this within the next couple of years? Hinata asked. Of course. However, I have decided to leave most of what's in here alone for the time being. Why would you do that? Anko nearly yelled. Are you insane? No. However, if I were to start learning things from the library of the Yellow Flash, it might draw attention. I can't afford that right now. I do intend on learning some of these things over time, but if I learned enough I wouldn't be able to stop myself from using it and it would expose who I am. And besides, I already told the third that I would keep this in my inner circle. I can't have this getting out. He does have a point, Shino said. While the Hiraishin and the Rasengan were his signature jutsu, there were many techniques for which the Yondaime was known for. Granted, your Kage Bunshin were also used by him. They were also created by the Nadaime and used by a few people. However, I'm sure that on the scale Naruto uses them, not many will be thinking about the Yondaime's use of them. Yes, even though others used them, like Jiraiya of the Sannin uses the Rasengan and the Nadaime Tobirama invented the Hiraishin, it would still stand out if another person used these. They aren't exactly easy to hide. That, and the Hiraishin would take a long time to learn, even for me. The only people who the Yondaime ever taught this jutsu need to focus together to use it. Their knowledge is worthless when they are separated and don't have the time to get into position. Sir, what are you going to do now? Hinata asked. I'm going to ask that you all take this secret to your graves unless I die or tell you it's fine. This, my friends, is the mark that I truly trust you. You have stayed with me even when I revealed my curse. I have looked into your eyes and seen only that you are my friends and I can count on you. Now, tomorrow I intend to get my first C rank, so I must say good night because I'm going to need my rest, and goodbye in case I don't see you before I leave. How would you know you're going to get a C rank? Shino asked. You have only been on duty for 3 days. Because, other than tomorrow, if I have to catch that cat one more time, I'm going to use its pelt to make a new cap. Now, good night, Naruto said as they left. Break. Good. That's another one done for today. Now let's see here. We have painting a fence, catching Tora the cat. No. No more will I catch that stupid cat. If I have to do it again, I'll use its pelt to make a cap. The Hokage knew he was serious. How about you stop with the chores and give us a real mission? Naruto, you can't just demand a C rank. You've only been a genin for 4 days. No Iruka, Naruto here took down a chunin on his own. If he thinks his team is ready, then let's give it to him. Come on in, the Hokage said as Iruka tried to protest. The client who walked in was Tazuna. The man was obviously on his way to being drunk. What's this? A scarecrow, a duck-haired emo, a fangirl, and a runt. What king of protection is this? Naruto was the first to speak. The kind that can still kill you before you can blink in 32 different ways and still have time to keep your hat from touching the floor. The bridge builder shuddered before remembering that they couldn't touch him, they were his protection. Look here kid, your job is to protect me until my bridge is complete. You understand that? Oh, so my C rank is to protect a drunk bridge builder from, what, the Alcoholics Anonymous. You could see the sparks flying as they glared at each other. That is super bridge builder to you, and you will be protecting me from bandits and thieves. Meet me at the south gate in 1 hour. The super bridge builder said as he walked out the door. Well, for meeting the client of my first C rank, that was really anticlimactic. Naruto said, causing everyone to facepalm at his remark. Break. It was time for Naruto to make good on his word and help Sasuke. Naruto had long ago figured out what Itachi meant due to Sasuke's behavior. They still had 45 minutes before they had to meet the bridge builder, and Naruto was going to use them. Sasuke was currently standing on one of the many roofs of Konoha, and Naruto walked up next to him as he was finally noticed. What do you want, doll? Only to talk. We are on the same team now, so I may as well go ahead and get it over with. No, just because we are on the same team does not mean we need to talk. All you need to do is stay out of my way. Had I stayed out of your way, you would have failed the bell test. Naruto taunted. Grr. Is there something specific you want? Sasuke said, getting angry. Look Sasuke, we're going to need to work together in the near future, so we might as well get to know each other. Besides, as much as I hate to admit it, the client was right. You do act broody. Shut up. What do you know of it? I had everything taken from me. I need to get stronger, and I don't need your stupidity getting in my way. Do you think you and I are so different? You and I both know the pain of being alone. Our pain is nothing alike. I had everything ripped away from me, by my own brother no less. You never had anything. You don't know my pain. How we wound up alone is important, but we both know its sting. Besides, I could one day know your pain. That pain of losing everything. But what you fail to realize is that you could never know my pain. You were right, I never had anything. You at least knew your family. I will never have that luxury. My pain will always remain unknown to you. Naruto's words shocked Sasuke. He had never thought of it like that. When he looked at Naruto, he had always seen someone who at least didn't know the pain of losing everything, someone who could never know his pain. But in reality, it was the other way around. Now that I have opened your eyes to how wrong you truly were, what will you do? Naruto said just before he took off. He needed to pack a scroll. He couldn't help shaking the feeling that this trip was going to be important. Break. They had been walking along their road for a while now and had yet to run into trouble. While Naruto and Sakura was walking on Tazuna's sides, Kakashi was walking in the back, and Sasuke was walking ahead while deep in though. As they walked past a puddle, the only two who took note of it were Naruto and Kakashi. They said nothing as they passed, deciding to let it play out, but Naruto gave Kakashi a small hidden signal. Once they were past, the two brothers hiding in the genjutsu, Meizu and Gozu, emerged getting ready to attack. They quickly took down Kakashi with the chain between the gauntlets. 1 down. They said at the same time. 4 to go. they shouted as they rushed Naruto. Before they got to close, Naruto quickly made several dozen clones. Ha! You think those will stop us? They continued rushing, shrugging off their surprise at seeing this jutsu, that had not been used by many since the Yondaime, used on such a scale. They quickly tore through them before stabbing Naruto in the stomach. Ah! Naruto yelled with pain on his face. The missing nin were about to continue before Naruto instantly stopped and looked at them smiling. Gotcha, he said before dispersing. Bunshin. They yelled before everything went black. In reality, while they tore through the clones, the real one had a clone stand where he was and snuck behind him to knock him out from behind. As Naruto tied him up to a tree, Kakashi came out of the trees, shocking all but Naruto as the others looked to a torn up log. Good job, Naruto, Kakashi said with another weird eye smile. Same to you as well, Sasuke and Sakura. Your immediate reaction was to guard Tazuna in the event that Naruto failed. Good thinking. However, he turned serious as he looked at Tazuna. Why were they after you? What do you mean? Tazuna asked nervously, trying to play it off. They took me out, but none of you are of any importance to actually go after. Naruto saw the desperation in the man's eyes. He took pity. Kakashi, perhaps the fact that we are ninja showed that Tazuna has money. You need money to hire ninja. That, and even ninja get decent wages just for D ranks. Killing all of us would be a good take for any bandits. These ones simply bit off more than they could chew and acted arrogantly. There is no reason to blame Tazuna for their stupidity. Tazuna visibly relaxed. Yes, that must be it. Of course, Naruto, that must be it. Kakashi said with another eye smile. So, you're taking pity on him. I hope you know what you're doing, Naruto. Any mistake could get us killed. These were missing nin. Not to mention that they were last seen with Zabuza. I have a bad feeling. Alright, well, I'll send a messenger bird to tell Konoha that these two are here. Let's keep moving. When they were gone, a dark figure emerged from the forest. The figure wore a dark, black, and tattered cloak that covered the figure's features, keeping anything about him from being seen. The figure walked up to the two tied-up missing nin. After crouching down in front of them, the figure took off their masks to reveal scared faces. A gloved hand emerged from his right sleeve and reached into a hidden pocket. When his hand came back out, it held a small vial filled with a grayish liquid and a stopper on it. After removing the stopper, he waved the vial in front of their noses. No reaction. After stopping the vial and putting it back away, the figure spoke. Wake up. His voice was slightly deeper than usual. It was calm yet carried an air of commanded authority. It had a quality that was not soft but fluid, yet he spoke like a man who had conquered places before and was not afraid to do it again. However, there was still no reaction. Sigh. He grabbed Meizu by the collar of his shirt with his right hand and his left emerged before the palm position just in front of his face. In quick succession slapped him back and forth across the face. It didn't take long before the man was awake. What's going on? One moment, the figure said before doing the same to Gozu. Once he was awake, he had a similar reaction to his brother. Once they were awake, the figure moved their masks back over their faces. Who are you? Gozu asked. That depends on you. What do you mean? This time from Meizu. First off, only one of you will talk. Choose now. The two brothers shared a look before Gozu spoke up. I'll speak for us. Good. Now, depending on how you respond to the things I say, I will either be the man who leaves you here to be taken by Konoha Recovery Ninja, or I will be your new employer. Why? Because, you have been able to alive for this long with just you two, and Zabuza. I respect the fact that this means you are not weak. I have other reasons, but for now all you need to know is that I would like you to join me. And if we refuse, I leave you here, tied to a tree. Once again the brothers shared a look. Will we learn more about what you need us for once we join you? Of course. And as payment for loyalty, I will help you do what got you branded missing nin. I'll help you finish the war in Kiri. I want it to end as well. Having you on my side fits my interests. When can we expect your help in that matter? The war won't end any time soon without my intervention. I promise that my intervention will end it a great deal sooner. How do we know you don't mean to help the Mizukage? Because his mind is currently not his own, and the man who controls him is a man I want dead. They could hear his voice take on an undertone that promised death to those who crossed him. Once again they shared a look. This time, however, they took longer and could be heard whispering to each other. However, it did not take long before they both looked at the figure. We accept our new employment. The figure pulled out a small blade and positioned it to cut their bindings. Are you sure? I will not tolerate cowards or traitors. He spoke ominously. The two brothers quickly nodded before the figure cut the ropes. He smiled. Good. Naruto was currently sitting in a clearing near Tazuna's home. During the fight with Zabuza, Naruto had allowed Sasuke to take point and they worked together to free Kakashi. Once he was out of the water prison, he proceeded to fight Zabuza before incapacitating him against a tree. That was when the false hunter Nin showed up and took him. After he woke up, Kakashi revealed how the hunter Nin had to be fake because of him taking the body instead of destroying it. Now that Kakashi could not travel, it was not difficult to convince the group that all that was left was to finish the job, even though it was now an A rank. This was also because the others took pity once the situation in Wave was explained. When Kakashi could walk with crutches, he took him out to train in tree walking so they could stand a better chance by proceeding in their advancement. After a day of this, Sasuke and Naruto had only made it halfway up the tree, but Naruto had stayed behind while the others went back to eat supper. Now, with Naruto sitting in this clearing that was only lit by the dim light provided by the moon on a night without clouds, Naruto starts to truly train. I didn't take long for the clearing to be full of Naruto's clones. Alright, pick a tree and start climbing. We are short on time and I want this done as quickly as possible. The original spoke before the clones all took off. While the clones were training for him, he pulled a scroll from his pocket and unsealed it to find a small stack of scrolls containing jutsu. Naruto already knew which one he was grabbing as he took one from the stack and opened it. Naruto had 2 jutsu on his list that were mandatory to learn. One was the shunshin. The other was not really a jutsu so much as a technique left behind by his ancestors. From what little information there was about the technique before how to actually use it, not many had ever actually been confirmed to use this ability. In all reality, it was like a Kekkei Genkai that was usually never unlocked. While it had emerged in some, few ever actually used it or even had the ability to. However, for some reason any of the Uzumaki clan who was the container of the Kyuubi had been able to use it. Some believed it was because of their necessity should the beast ever escape. However, for the time being he put that one to the side, believing that for now he shouldn't use it and therefore learning was only a distraction he didn't need right now. He opened his scroll for the shunshin and started practicing. It was not a difficult jutsu to learn. Mastering it was another matter altogether. It put strain on the body that could only come from moving at such speeds for too long. However, due to his vast chakra reserves, learning it took time, but while mastering it would take time, he could use it adequately for the time being. It wasn't until he could use it though that he realized he heard someone calling his name. Looking around, he realized that he had been doing this all night and most of the morning. Not wanting to be caught, he dispersed all of the clones still active. Crap, that hurts. I'm going to need to learn how to moderate my brain's intake of the memories all at once. He thought to himself as the rest of his team came into the clearing. Have you been training all night, Naruto? Kakashi asked. Yes. We are limited on time. I can rest when it gets closer to the time Zabuza will come back. But for now I need to get as much done as I can. Well, that definitely seems important, but did your night of no sleep yield results? Of course. Naruto responded before walking up to a tree and proceeding up it as if he was simply taking a morning walk. Well, that didn't take long. Sasuke, you should get it by the end of the day. Naruto, are you familiar with the water walking technique? It would seem you and Sakura are ahead, so I can teach it to you. Kakashi said. He needed to build them as fast as he could. Naruto was right, there was not a whole lot of time. I have heard of it. However, I must say no, I have other things to take care of. Naruto replied before taking off. Sensei, what was Naruto talking about? Sakura spoke up. I'm not too sure myself, but I'm sure he will be fine. Kakashi replied. In reality, he was worried. He knew next to nothing about this student Naruto, but here he was with the boy under his command. He needed to talk to the third about this if they made it back. Break. It had been a few days since Zabuza had escaped and Naruto was not resting. While the others were learning the water walking technique, he was sleeping in a small clearing. He had exhausted himself last night from experimenting with his clones and their abilities. While he had some of the continuing to practice with the shunshin, he was working on controlling how much he could alter the clones and what he could make them do. He discovered that so long as they didn't take much damage, then they could even bleed. For a moment before he passed out, he had been working on something else as well, but could no longer maintain it before losing consciousness. However, that was at the moment irrelevant, as a hand was shaking him awake. When he opened his eyes, he saw someone there that was androgynous in appearance. You could catch a cold if you stayed out here like this. Who are you? I'll tell you that if you help me pick these herbs. Break. Thank you for helping out. My name is Haku. It was no problem, and my name is Naruto. So what are you doing out here so early? I'm training. I see, so are you a ninja? Yes. So why are you training? You look strong already. Because I need to become stronger. I must train so that I can one day become respected by my village and gain the acknowledgement that has no long been denied me. I will make my village see who I truly am. Tell me, do you have someone important to you? Naruto did not miss the look in her eye. When someone has something to protect, that is when they become truly strong. I know what you mean. I do have people that I will one day fight beside. And if the need ever arises, I will be there to protect them. My friends. Naruto sighed. May I ask you a question? Haku looked at him in confirmation. I ask because I would like it if you don't overreact to what I am about to say. His response was a nod. What you said about becoming strong through having something to protect, is that why you helped Zabuza? Naruto's response was Haku stiffening. He was trying to hear what Naruto said before taking action. How did you know? My life has not been completely pleasant. Over the years my hearing become good enough for me to tell what board in my home had how much pressure. I recognized your voice. He nodded. So what do we do now? I would like to talk. Why? Another thing I developed over time is the ability to see certain things in people's eyes. When I mentioned acknowledgement, your eyes displayed something similar to longing. When you talked about having something to protect, I saw you go over a memory. I saw the sadness in your eyes. Your past has not been kind to you either. Then what do you want to talk about exactly? Well, first I would like to know what brought you to this point. What happened to you? His response was for Haku to hold his hand in front of him with the palm upwards. In his hand formed a small shard of ice. My Kekkei Genkai brought me to this point. Haku said before telling about the bloodline purge, how he killed his father after he watched the death of his mother, and how Zabuza eventually found him. He told of how Zabuza had taken care of him since he found him. So, that is what that look of longing in your eyes was. What do you mean? You say that you are nothing more than Zabuza's tool. But that look of admiration, caring, I would almost say you see him more as a father. That longing was the longing for returned emotion. You wish that Zabuza saw you as family the way you see him. No, that's not, he tried to protest. You already gave yourself away. You might not have even realized it before, but I can see it. How can you know what you're talking about? Because I have seen much the same look in my own eyes many times before. That look of longing for someone to actually care for you. His face hardened. So, what do you intend to do now that you know my story? How would you like to hear mine? Why would you do that? Why would you not kill me when I was asleep? You knew I would be your enemy, but you didn't. I did it because I have not yet gotten rid of my humanity. I will tell you my story because I have not yet gotten rid of mine. There will be some parts one can't tell you, seeing as it would bring me no end of trouble if I told you, but I can tell you some of it. It took time, but Naruto explained his story. How he had been attacked, how people had always hated him, how he had eventually found friends he could trust, and even how he had come to learn about his family and why he was hated. What he left out was the part about who his parents were, the Kyuubi, and the fact that the grandfather figure he got the information from was the Hokage. Now, what will you do now that you know my story? I don't know. Perhaps you should take my words to heart. You and I are a lot alike. We simply turned out different due to different circumstances. So, I would like it if you gave me the chance to get Zabuza to stop this madness. What do you mean? I mean that if he continues down this path, there is a strong chance that you two will die. That, and I believe that any time but now you and I could be friends. Haku smiled. You truly are different. An enemy stands here and you are trying to make friends out of them. I will try to give you a chance. Thank you. And besides, every friend I have is one less person against me. It is also one more person for me to stand beside. Naruto said as he stood up. By the way, could you tell me how much time I have? Why? I won't tell anyone, I just want to know how long I have to figure out what I'm doing to do. Besides, I also want to make Zabuza my friend. Why would you want to do that? Because he is not a bad person. He tried to end a massacre in Mizuno Kuni. I'm interested in the person that would give up his home to try and end something they thought was wrong. I am taking a gamble on you, Naruto. I hope I can trust you. We will be making our move in 2 days. Do you honestly think you can help us? Of course. Now, it's time for me to go. I have one last thing to do and not a whole lot of time. Haku nodded as Naruto disappeared. Things were going to get much more interesting in 2 days. Break. That night the team and family were sitting down at the table eating. Tazuna was asking about how they were going to handle Zabuza when someone spoke up. You're all fools. There is no way you can win. Inari said. Their first night there Tazuna had told them about Kaiser. What did you say? Sakura asked. I said that you are all fools. There is no way you can beat Gato. You're all going to die. Shut up, kid. Naruto said. Of course we will. I have a few things I need to do before I die. Shut up, you don't know anything. He's going to kill you just like he did the last hero. Ha ha ha. Naruto shouted. I can see exactly what you're thinking. It's written all over your face. You think that heroes are meaningless if they die. But in all reality it is sometimes the ones that die who mattered the most. You know, our village once was attacked by a monster. Our fourth Hokage managed to defeat it and is still called a hero to this day. Only problem is that he died that day. If you think a hero that dies was worthless, then you are an idiot. He won because he knew, understood and accepted one crucial and irrefutable fact. He accepted that he was going to die and still fought because of this fact. This fact is that someone who can't sacrifice anything, can never change anything. What would you know, he actually succeeded. The last hero failed and left us alone. That's not true. Naruto said, shocking Inari. His death caused you to say these words that have inspired me. He did not fail. He succeeded in passing on the torch to you, Inari. Now I know for a fact that I will stop Zabuza, and, Naruto said, his voice suddenly darker. I will kill Gato. To say everyone was shocked by his words was an understatement. Before they could respond, he left. Break. The day that Zabuza was supposed to return, Naruto had 2 clones stay at the house just in case. Granted, no one knew about them. However, currently Naruto and Sasuke were trapped inside a dome of ice mirrors. When they had first been trapped in there, Naruto had given a small signal used to ask for confirmation. His response was a small, barely noticeable nod. Haku proceeded to start the fight by flashing from mirror to mirror, throwing senbon at them. While the fight was meant to not overly harm Naruto, he was not going easy. In order to keep up appearances, Naruto kept trying to help Sasuke escape from the dome by creating as many clones as he could at one time, either small space, and having them run to the edge of the barrier, or guard Sasuke. However, in order to help keep Sasuke out of the way, Haku used his senbon to knock him out for now. Don't worry, I only incapacitated him to keep him out of our way. Haku responded to Naruto's questioning look. Alright, now if I'm not mistaken here soon Kakashi will try to end it. That is when we shall intervene. And how shall you convince Zabuza that being your friend will be beneficial to him? Before he could answer, Naruto closed his eyes in contemplation. One of my clones just dispelled. I was going to use emotion to get through to him and still might. But I managed to get some valuable information. I'll tell you when it comes up. Alright, I'll continue to trust you. Time's up. Cancel this jutsu. Our time to intervene is here. Haku nodded and cancelled the ice mirrors. When their vision cleared, Kakashi was about to plunge his legendary Reikiri into Zabuza's chest. Zabuza. Haku panicked and shunshined in front of Zabuza to shield him. Kakashi was instantly filled with remorse at what he was about to do. However, it was too late to stop. But then he started to panic at what happened next. Naruto had also panicked and shunshined in front of Haku to stop Kakashi. Kakashi was panicking. He was about to kill his student. He couldn't stop. Kakashi was shocked at what happened next, to say the least. Naruto reached up and took it as the Reikiri went into his hand and tore into his arm before Kakashi stopped moving. Naruto started grinning. What? Do you know, it worked. Crap, this hurts, but it worked. Naruto got out before he moved and pulled away his now useless arm. He started to chuckle. Haku, you really forced my hand there, I won't lie. But I cannot believe that actually worked. Well, what amazes me even more is that I'm still here. I guess that it worked. He ground out before dispelling in a cloud of smoke. It took all of a second before they heard someone start to scream in pain. When they all looked towards where Haku and Naruto had come from, they saw Naruto kneeling on the ground, griping his arm like it would disappear when he loosened his grip. Biggest downside to shadow clones, who growled as he forced himself to stand, is that any trauma they experience returns to the user with their memories. This does not include the physical damage, but it still hurts. He grimaced now that he was standing. The pain was starting to fade. He was used to some physical pain and it tended to disperse relatively quickly for him. Those idiots back in the village were useful for something. Hey, Zabuza. I need to talk to you when this is all over, but first, release your hidden mist technique and you will find what I'm about to tell you to be truth. Gato is here. He never intended on paying you. As a matter of fact, he is actually here to kill you. What? How would you know that? Zabuza yelled. I had 2 clones stay back at Tazuna's. Gato sent 2 thugs to take them hostage. When my clones questioned them, one dispersed. I got the information telling me that Gato is on his way here right now. So I think it is safe to say that you don't need to kill Tazuna anymore. However, when this is all over, I would like to talk to you. Do you understand? Fine, I owe you that much. Since I'm not wounded, I still have the energy to kill the midget. Sorry Zabuza, that will be my privilege, I already made a promise on that. Whatever, how about we just leave it to the one who gets him first? Deal. Kakashi finally decided to get in on the conversation. Naruto, what is going on? I will explain all the details later, Kakashi, but for now Zabuza is not our enemy. Kakashi nodded. Hey, Zabuza said, you will be filling me in on those details too. You can do it during this talk. Zabuza continued while releasing his technique. While he was doing that, Sakura was trying to figure out what the hell was going on while keeping the bridge builder out of the way. Kakashi decided to do what he had done since this mission started, just go with it and ask the Sandaime later, before getting into his battle position. Zabuza decided to do something similar to what Kakashi had done. Finally, while Naruto was walking up to join him, Haku looked at him, giving a nod and also getting into position. When the mist cleared, it was still semi-misty due to the natural mist. However, the group was still able to see Gato and a small army of thugs. Gato was in disbelief when the mist cleared to show that they were ready for him instead of killing each other. Zabuza, what are you doing? You're supposed to be taking care of them. From what I know, those thugs behind you are for me. You never intended to pay me. Gato smirked. Correct. You cost too much. I paid all of them total the amount you were demanding. And I'll get the same results. Kill them. Within a second of those words leaving Gato's mouth, Naruto was upon them with Zabuza, Haku, and Kakashi following suit. Naruto quickly drew his kunai and aimed for their legs and arms. He killed Mizuki, but he was not ready to just start killing anyone in his way. He quickly dodged a sword that was coming down towards his head and cut the man's forearm before knocking him out. While Naruto was doing this, Kakashi and Zabuza were not holding back as they quickly ripped apart the thugs without mercy, and Haku paralyzed them with his senbon. However, it was Naruto who in the midst of the fighting got to Gato first. The man started to panic as Naruto approached him, and took the small blade out of his cane. Naruto made short work of disarming the man. Gato decided to play his trump card. Money. Wait, I can give you money, anything you want, just let me go. Not today. I already promised that I would kill you. I'll make this quick. Gato tried to crawl away, but before he could, Naruto grabbed his head. It took all of 2 seconds as Naruto grimaced from the snap of Gato's neck. He had only done it twice, but this was the worst part he could imagine about life. The fact that he would have to kill in the future. The thought almost made him throw up. It didn't take long before the others incapacitated or killed the rest of the thugs, but once they did, they quickly noticed Naruto leaning over Gato's body. When they got closer to him, he spoke up. Alright, Kakashi and Zabuza, I will explain everything after I wake up. My arm is killing me. He got out before collapsing. Break. When Naruto woke up, he found himself in an unfamiliar room with Kakashi sitting next to him. How long have I been out and where are we? All day yesterday. It's morning. And Tazuna was happy Zabuza no longer wanted to kill him, but still wanted to keep his distance. So we are currently in Zabuza's hotel room because Zabuza insisted, and I quote, "I want answers about what the hell happened from the kid the moment he wakes up. Alright, let me sit up and I'll talk to them." Once he was sitting up, he looked around and didn't see Zabuza. Where are they? Zabuza is raiding the free breakfast bar, and Haku is trying to keep the management from kicking him out over eating all of their food. Alright, understandable, Naruto said before the door burst open and Zabuza ran through it carrying a large stack of mini muffins and eggs. Haku, quick, close the door, Zabuza yelled. For a free breakfast buffet they get angry once you eat enough. Naruto and Kakashi's sweat dropped at the trouble Zabuza had started. Alright, sit down Zabuza. I guess it's time I explain what happened. Naruto proceeded to explain how he had talked to Haku and they had planned to stop the fighting because he knew that one or both of the duo would die. It was at this point when Zabuza had explained that Haku had already talked with him about how he viewed Zabuza somewhat as a father figure. Zabuza went on to explain how he had told Haku he didn't know how to respond and had to think. So now what? Zabuza asked. We aren't trying to kill each other. Are we friends? Do we want to go back to the bridge and finish our fight? That is a great question. Naruto, Kakashi asked. He was looking at Naruto trying to once again do what he had done all mission, defer to Naruto's judgment on what he didn't feel like getting a migraine over. Well, my main goal with all of this was to get another few friends out of this. We have no more reason to fight. They all shared a look. They had their answer. Well, from what I can tell, you left Mizuno Kuni because of the purge, correct? Yes. I tried to kill the Mizukage to stop what he was doing. Well, for now I suggest you lay low here for now. Most everyone who knew you were here are dead or we can ask them to keep quiet. I already have some thoughts I can discuss with you later. What do you mean? Naruto looked at Kakashi. First, Kakashi, what happened to Sasuke and Sakura while I was out? They are staying at Tazuna's. Sasuke is still unconscious. He should wake up soon though. Would you do me a favor and go check on him for me? Ask them not to talk to anyone about Zabuza. Kakashi already knew what was going on. He was not supposed to be a part of this conversation. Sure, Kakashi responded before leaving. Alright, Zabuza said, what's this all about? The answer is simple. Give me some time and I can help you out with finishing the war is Mizu. How would you do that? You can't get close to where you need to be without some help. Give me some time, and I should be able to give you that help. How long are you asking us to wait? I don't know yet. Stay here, help these people recover, get them to accept you. I do promise that I will help you. However, I'm not sure when yet. I'm sure that it will take at least another year before I can do that. A year? You want us to wait that long? Look at me. I couldn't even stay standing after yesterday. Give me time. I'm sure that at this point I'm one of the few people who you can trust. Just give me the time to do it. Trust me and you will eventually see the results yourself. Grr. Fine, but don't expect me to just sit still. I don't, but don't draw attention to yourself. Kid, I have to ask, how do you know that you can help us? What are you hiding? That will be revealed in time. But for now I can't tell you that. Fine, but I will find out one day. Break. It had been a few months since the grand exit from Wave and things for Naruto were advancing quickly. He had gone on several missions and due to them interchanging teams a few times to help with teamwork when they had to make do with who was available. Naruto had even gone on a few missions with Hinata, Shino, and Anko. Over the past few months Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke had gotten closer together. This was mainly because on one mission in particular they had shared a near-death experience and bonded over it. Over time Naruto had gotten stronger. He had learned the family legacy he had with him in Wave and had even gone so far as to learn a few spare jutsu. He had convinced Kakashi to teach him the double suicide decapitation jutsu, and had been able to learn some other jutsu that were not particularly special. Granted, he did keep most of his learning secrets so as not to draw attention to himself. While he knew that using it would bring no end of trouble, he had started to learn his father's Hiraishin because he knew that two clones working on the technique would take a long time to figure it out and therefore didn't worry about it too much. Another thing he had done was that he had started to train in the Kenjutsu scrolls in his family's library. He had found his mother's blade sealed in a scroll. The blade of the katana itself was green with a black line up both sides just above where the actual edge started. The guard was a black Japanese dragon wrapped around itself with small emeralds in the eyes. The pommel was a small gold plating that held another emerald at the tip. Finally, the handle of the sword was a contradiction to everything else the blade had been, as it was a deep crimson with the white outline of another dragon curled around the handle. The blade was beautiful and was matched by the diagrams, katas, and practicing instructions Naruto found as they depicted the fluid movements of those who wielded and had mastered the art of kenjutsu. As things currently stood, Naruto's work and skills with the blade had grown to be good but far from great and even further from perfect. He had also started looking at some of the information from the Scroll of Seals and realized he had made a good choice in taking its contents. Mizuki most likely was not the first to try and steal it, nor would he be the last. At least it was not as dangerous as it was before. It was amazing, the things he found. In the list of things from the Nadaime there were even notes on his Edo Tensei. It was quite obvious why the scroll was forbidden. But for Naruto things were moving quickly enough for him. His sensei had told him that he had registered them for the chunin exams. Now all they had to do was sign the forms he gave them. Yes, things were moving along nicely. He was currently on his way to a dango shop to meet with his friends when he heard someone yelling. Once he got closer he realized that Konohamaru was being held in the air by a boy by the name of Kankuro. Naruto had met Konohamaru before. He had talked some sense into the boy about what it was to truly be seen as himself and not as his grandfather. He also saw Sakura standing there trying to get Kankuro to let Konohamaru go, but with no success. When Naruto walked up he instantly made the effort to scare said sand ninja. Wow, I have never met someone who wanted to start a war before. What do you mean? Kankuro's sister Temari asked. Well, that is the Hokage's grandson you have there. Naruto said with a smirk. The two sand ninja were now nervous to say the least. Well, let's not jump to conclusions. Kankuro said. He was sweating profusely all of a sudden as he put the boy down. Said boy quickly hid behind Naruto who started to chuckle. Calm down. I doubt it will start a war so long as no one makes a big deal about it. And I won't make a big deal about it. Naruto said, trying to ease the tension. However, the tension came back in full force when a redhead jumped out of a nearby tree. Gee Gaara, how long have you been here? Kankuro, Temari. You two are a disgrace to the village. Gaara said, not giving him a chance to respond before he turned to Naruto. Who are you? I could ask the same. My name is Gaara and these are my siblings Kankuro and Temari. We are from the Hidden Sand and are here from the chunin exams. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, I live here in Konoha and will also be participating in the chunin exams. Naruto responded. Gaara gave a small nod. Perhaps I will see you there. He said before turning and leaving with his siblings. The way they looked at him. Their own brother. There was fear there. Fear and sadness. I have to wonder. Naruto thought to himself before saying goodbye to Sakura and Konohamaru and leaving. He was headed back home. Some things needed to be prepared. Break. The Hokage at that moment was also headed to Naruto's home. He needed to talk to the boy. When he got there though, Naruto was not there. The Sandaime thought he might be somewhere and decided to look for him. The last place the Hokage got to was the office. To say that the old man was surprised would have been understatement. While there were papers everywhere they were organized. However, on the desk there were 4 folders. Each one had something different on the cover. Spring contingency, summer contingency, autumn contingency, and winter contingency. Contingency. What would he be needing to plan for that he needs a contingency? The third asked while picking up the folder labeled autumn. When he flipped through it though some of what he saw shocked him. Why would he need this? He thought as he put it down and picked up the winter folder. His reaction was similar. Many of the pages were blank. This particular contingency was incomplete. But when he got to the final page there was only one sentence that truly terrified the Hokage. He couldn't react before he heard the door close behind him. As he spun around he dropped the folder and saw Naruto standing between him and the door. I see you found my plans and decided to take a look at them. Naruto said with no emotion in his voice. I bet you are wondering what could lead a man to need so many plans. Look around you. All of these are different plans or contingencies. Plans in case other plans go wrong. Plans in case one event happens instead of another. I bet you even wonder why I created the winter contingency. The leader hardened his face. Why would you need to plan some of those things? I demand you answer me now. You have no right, Naruto said, his hatred and anger pouring into his voice as he radiated killing intent. Do you know what a contingency is? It is a provision for an unforeseen event that can't be predicted with certainty. Would you like to know why that last one is there? It was on the front page, Naruto said with a smirk as Hiruzen picked the folder back up and looked at the word betrayal on the first page. That is why. If I am ever betrayed, the winter contingency is one of the possible outcomes. Even that particular contingency is not guaranteed. It might never truly be put into action. It is simply there because of the small chance that the correct events fall into place, but who knows? What you are saying, Naruto, do you realize what I'm talking about? Of course. But like I said, it is not yet set in stone. I only plan for the possibility. All great generals have planned for possibilities. Besides, if that one ever gets put into effect, it will be your own fault. What led you to even need this plan? You did. You deceived me when I thought you were the only person I could trust. My trust is spread thin as it is. But my hopes are that it is no longer misplaced. Now, I need to sleep, so I ask that you leave. The Hokage knew he couldn't argue. He started walking out the door as Naruto opened it for him. Once the Hokage was gone from his home, Naruto returned to his office. To his desk. To his contingencies. He flipped to the last page of the winter contingency and looked at the only sentence. In a way, it was just that. Konoha's sentence. Naruto looked at the final sentence with the happiness of a madman. A part of him wanted nothing more than to act out the contents of this contingency. He read over the one line over and over again. Quickly he stopped remembering the other part of his mind and composed himself. One day, I will be here on that day. I will be here on that day. The day when they decide what plan I will use. Because it will be their actions that determine it. They will decide, Naruto said to himself as he closed the folder and turned to leave. He needed to be ready. For everything. He could feel it. Things were about to change. He could feel it in his very core. Break. Before the exams had started, Naruto had gone to his home and packed a scroll just in case. The scroll contained his weapons, including his sword, as well as other items that would be needed for varying situations. Naruto had learned some time ago how to seal many things in one seal but pull out certain things at one time. He did all this because he had heard of some of the previous exams and wanted to be prepared. When they got to the second floor on their way to the test, Naruto and his team keep moving. However, as he left, he shouted that it was the second floor and that it was nothing more than a trick. Once they got to the correct floor, Naruto had them enter at once. Once they were in, it didn't take long for them to be noticed. While the others talked to different people, Naruto was talking to Hinata and Shino about something they believed was more important. Alright, if we have to fight each other later, what should we do? Shino was the first to speak up in response. Well, from what I have learned about previous tests, there will be a segment where the different teams will need to go against each other and another segment where we will need to go head to head. In the team segment, we should work together. It shouldn't be hard to convince Kiba to go along with this plan, but getting your team to go along with it will be harder. No, it won't. All we need to do is convince Sasuke and Sakura will follow suit. My team and I may have grown closer, but I have yet to be able to truly change how they see things. All we need to do is make Sasuke believe that this will help him get stronger, and the rest should take care of itself. His friends nodded. Now it was time to think about what to do if it came down to fighting each other. I think we should just fight but leave out killing moves. Fight but stop when we know one of us has won. Hinata said, to which the others nodded. Naruto noticed something going on with the others as a sound genin had attacked another Konoha genin by the name of Kabuto. However, Naruto decided to ignore it as the first proctor had shown up to start the exam. Things were about to get interesting. Break. Naruto had gotten through the first part of the exam without much hassle. He had a clone he made before the exam henge into a fly and copy the answers from an obvious plant. This was another trick. He had a little trouble getting Sakura to stay for the final question, but his speech had made inspiring people easy. Once Anko burst through the window, Naruto had to facepalm at her antics. But this is where things got important. The Forest of Death was the next part of the exam, and the goal was to get the opposite scroll before heading to the tower in the middle of the forest. Naruto had been in here plenty of times and knew that having the genin sign waivers was no joke. Things were getting serious. Once inside, he had his team meet up with Hinata and Shino's team. Sasuke's first reaction to seeing them was to get ready for a fight, as was Kiba's. However, with Naruto, Hinata, and Shino, they never got a chance. They quickly managed to convince Sasuke with the fact that this would get things done and advance him faster. Kiba was convinced when Shino threatened that they would leave him behind with his bugs if he didn't agree. Needless to say, he didn't argue long. While their teams had different scrolls, they were able to quickly see the benefit of working together after witnessing Gaara kill a group of Omegacore Genin. This was too important to spend time fighting each other. Things were progressing nicely once both teams had their scrolls and they started heading towards the tower. However, once it hit night, they decided to stop and sleep inside of a hollowed portion in a tree. They were all to keep watch at different intervals, with Naruto taking the first watch. About half an hour into his watch, and Sasuke came out and sat next to Naruto. "My watch still has another hour and a half. Can't sleep." Sasuke nodded. "I wanted to talk to you." "What about?" "When we first go put on the same team, you helped me open my eyes to the fact that I was just acting better than some people, when in all reality my pain is not unique. In this world, people have those they care for taken from them every day. It is not exactly once in a lifetime, but the pain of never having anything is never something I could experience. But your life still has room to lose everything. You could know my pain one day, but I could never know yours. That's what I said before. Is there something in particular you wanted to talk about? I wanted to ask you why you tried to get to know me that day. You said that it was because we were on the same team, but you never tried to do the same with Sakura. The answer is really quite simple. I had a promise to fulfill." "What do you mean?" "Sigh. I also once knew Itachi." "What did you say?" "You heard me. You see, Itachi was once my friend. Back when everyone hated me, he was one of the few I trusted. I never imagined he would have committed the Uchiha massacre. You see, that night, just before he left, he came to me and told me goodbye. He also asked me to make sure that I helped you stay on the right path. I don't know what happened that night, but he truly wanted me to help keep you out of darkness. All this time. Why? Why would he do that? Why did he ask you to do that?" "My guess," Naruto said as he stood up, "is that no matter what happened that night, he truly cared for you. Well, since you're here and want to think, I'll let you take over my watch for the time being," Naruto said before taking off into the forest. "He left me behind to do his job. Son of a." With Naruto, things were going by him at a massive speed. He was currently just trying to think about what he had said. While he believed he had done the right thing to keep Sasuke out of darkness, he felt like he might have messed up something, like he had changed something that had been planned out for quite some time. However, he was brought out of his musings when he heard someone scream. When he found the source, he saw a red-headed girl being attacked by a massive bear. Naruto quickly created several clones and had them do the very simple task of acting like food and luring the bear away from them. With the bear gone, Naruto quickly refocused on Karen. Naruto offered his hand to help her up, and she didn't take long to accept the help. "Thank you. I got separated from my team and then that bear attacked me." "No problem. To be completely honest, I was just trying to take a walk and think. By the way, what is your name?" "My name is Karen." "Well, if you don't mind me asking, what is your last name?" "My last name is more of just a clan name, so I don't really go by it, but it's Uzumaki." "Well then, Karen," Naruto said, getting rid of his surprise and gaining a smile, "I think our clan might truly be rising once again." What do you mean by that?" she asked. She was surprised at his answer. "Well, my name is Naruto Uzumaki, and I intend on one day going back to our home." That's not possible. All the Uzumaki were wiped out. If that was so, then how are you here? I wonder who told you that. There were survivors, but they were scattered across the world after Uzumaki destruction. Wait, I was also told that members of the Uzumaki clan have red hair. Yes, that is true. However, basic biology will tell you that my hair is from my father. My mother was, in fact, an Uzumaki who came to Konoha shortly before the land of whirling tides was destroyed. Karen nodded. It made sense, and it was completely possible. But then she asked a question. "So now that we know we are from the same clan, what do we do now?" "Well, I would say that you should make your way to the tower. You can't find your team, and I wouldn't say you're going to survive too long on your own out here. You won't pass the exam, but you should go ahead and make your way there. I'll keep you company. But what about your own team? Don't worry, Naruto said as he created a clone to make sure she got there. Just wait. Eventually I'll figure out what to do, Naruto said before waving goodbye and taking off. He had found a member of his clan. He was going to one day try to find some of them, but he never expected to have one just show up like this so early on. Who knows, maybe his ancestral home wasn't as far from rebuilding as he thought. Break. To say that Naruto was not happy about today's turn of events would be an understatement. He was downright pissed. First, Orochimaru had shown up and distracted Naruto with one of his snake summons that he quickly dealt with while using several hundred clones. Once he was done with that, he quickly ran back to join his friends. Once he got there, it didn't take long for him to be knocked out after Orochimaru commented on how he was little more than a pest. As a last-ditch effort, Naruto had tried to use his sword. However, when Orochimaru used his own, he was able to outmaneuver Naruto and land the hit that knocked him out. When he woke up, he found that Sasuke had forced the sound team to retreat after having woken up with strange tattoos all over his body. To make matters worse, once he was done, Sasuke had once again become unconscious. Now Naruto was carrying him as they were heading to the tower. Will someone explain to me again why I'm carrying him? You only just woke up from a nap. Stop complaining. Sakura responded. I was as she said this that the tower finally came into view. Finally, now I can find out some information about Orochimaru and what he did to Sasuke. Time to call in another guilt trip from the Hokage. I can't keep doing it forever, but for the time being he can't keep any important details away from me. Naruto thought to himself. That will be it for this video. If you want more, comment down below, like, subscribe. And see you guys later.